Boom! What's up, everyone? Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, going live talking about professional athletes and steroids. Now, just to get started, no matter who I talk to, no matter who I ask, and I follow some really great baseball pages on Instagram. The Greatest Show on Dirt is one of them. I'm nostalgic. I love sports. I know a lot of these conservative guys on Twitter is like, oh, you're busy watching sports ball and bread and circuses, and they're distracting you. No. Look, I got a big ass brain in this little ass head, and this brain can keep up with a lot of things. And I like sports because I like people who do epic things. And at the end of the day, people who do epic things a lot of times play sports. And I remember back in the 90s, you had a home run race with Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and Barry Bonds. And it was the most exciting moment in baseball history. The steroid era was the greatest era in sports history. In sports history, oh my goodness. You see the Bash brothers, Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire, jacked out of their mind on testosterone, on all kinds of designer drugs. Oh my goodness. Barry Bonds' head grew like fucking 12 inches in like 2 years. It was insane. We were seeing dingers. We were seeing the amazing feats of enhanced athletes. And whether you think steroids are safe or not, let's be honest here, we don't really care about the safety of these athletes. We know that 2 300-pound men running headfirst at each other at the rate of a 4.6 in the 40-yard dash is not going to lead to their longevity and health. A lot of these players of any level, mostly the professional level in sport, they die early. And their last years are not enjoyable. A lot of these guys have body pain that leads to, oh my goodness, addiction. I mean, look, at the end of the day, to be a professional athlete, natural or not, you are going to put your body through the ringer. You are going to stress every cell in your body. You're going to have injuries that you could only imagine. You're going to wake up in the morning at 50 years old feeling like you just got run over by a bus after falling out of a 12-story window. You ever see that scene in Naked Gun where the guy falls out the window and then like a roller comes over him, a marching band comes over him? That's exactly what they feel like. When I was at Exos and I was doing my, I think, phase 1 mentorship, they had a group of, I believe it was like 5 retired NFL linemen. And these guys were in so much pain. Their knees were literally, their body was held together. Like, it was like sewing ground beef together, uncooked. Just kind of, the tissue's just not taking. Their bodies are in pain. They've been carrying around all this weight, running head first into grown-ass men. Not just grown-ass men, elite grown-ass men. Day after week, after month, after year. But here's the deal. We're in a situation where we like to see epic things. And sports, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, all these guys have pain when they retire. But my opinion is, hey, we need to keep it safe. We need to protect these athletes. But we also need to realize that they go into this knowing exactly what's going to happen. I knew when I was playing high school football at 14 to 17 years old, I knew that what I was doing would probably affect me later in life. I knew that the running head first, having 5+ concussions before they actually cared about concussions. Back when I was a kid, they call it getting your bell rung, right? Oh, and if you had a shoulder injury, that was a stinger for those of you older cats up in here. Dude, it's not good. But man, I wouldn't trade those memories and what I did in football and sports. Man, I would trade 20 years of life for that because that made me who I am. And I know a lot of people disagree, but look, man, I love sports. I love what they bring to the table. I love the character they develop, and I love competition. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's get into the news. Let me add this to the stage. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's see which looks better. I don't like that one. Let's go with this one. Yeah, that's really nice. Or this one. Yeah, I like that one too, but I like this one. All right, let's talk about Juventus. Their midfielder, Paul Pogba. I'm guessing the G is somewhat silent. His sample, meaning his urinalysis or blood sample or whatever they took, probably urinalysis, confirms positive drug tests. So let's read this story and then let's talk about it, okay? And I'm going to tell you exactly why he just didn't know what he was doing. And I'm also going to tell you why I believe 90+% of athletes are on the sauce or on some kind of performance enhancing drug. So let's go with this. Pogba, 30, was provisionally suspended last month after his initial sample found elevated levels of testosterone in his system. So basically, testosterone is naturally occurring, but what they did is they found that his levels were super physiologically high. So let's say they cap it at, like, I've seen people, they're usually like 2,000. Like, they set the levels pretty damn high because some athletes have naturally elevated testosterone. I don't know what the exact level they were testing for was, but I mean, he had to come out like 3, 4, 5,000. And a normal, like my level on HRT to bring me to normal is around 900 to 1,000. Just, by the way, HRT, if you're looking for a great doctor, I'm linking down below. Hormone Health and Wellness. That's Hormone Health and Wellness. They handle everything. They get your blood work done. I'll link it down below. It's Hormone Health and Wellness, West Palm Beach on Instagram. I don't know what the exact Instagram handle is, but I'll link it down below. They're amazing. So after this video, I'll go ahead and link it. So again, if you're an adult and you're looking to optimize your levels like I do because you're getting old and shit starts falling down and you want to live an optimal life, a healthy life, again, I recommend getting with a doctor. Don't go to a street pharmacist. You'll probably die. So again, I'm not a doctor, by the way. Don't listen to me. Listen to them. So the France International was selected for random testing after Juve's 3-0 win at Udinese on 20 August, where he had been an unused substitute. If found guilty of doping, he could be banned for between 2 and 4 years. After Pogba's initial suspension in September, Nato Italia said he had violated anti-doping rules when it found the prohibited substance non-endogenous testosterone metabolites. Non-endogenous, exogenous is from the outside. Endogenous means you produced it yourself. That means they're inferring that he has used exogenous testosterone. And the results were consistent with the exogenous organs of the target compounds. Testosterone is a hormone that increases the endurance of athletes. BBC, which is where this article comes from, not the other BBC. The BBC, that's a news outlet, not the BBC. That means, yes. I make myself laugh sometimes. So testosterone doesn't really, I guess you could say it increases endurance. It increases strength and power, and it does a lot of great stuff. When exorbitantly high, which I'm guessing that his was very, very high for him to pop. Yeah, it'll do a lot of cool things, but yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't put endurance as its number one attribute. It's going to make you a stronger, more powerful, overall better athlete. Because you're fucking superhuman. Like, steroids work, guys. Steroids really, really work. They work really well, but again, risk reward. There's always a risk. Triglyceride levels. Oh man, so many things can go wrong with steroid abuse. Let's just say if you're not being used, and I'm guessing as a doctor controlling this, dude's rich. We'll talk about that later. But again, don't go to a street pharmacist. Go to a real doctor. I'll link one down below. Yeah, don't do that. So, speaking at the time of the initial suspension, Pogba's agent, Rafael Pimenta, said, "What is certain is that Paul Pogba never wanted to break a rule." Juventus re-signed Pogba on a 4-year deal in July 2022 after the player ran down his contract at Manchester United, left as a free agent. However, Pogba's return to Turin has been beset by persistent injury problems, which also saw him miss last year's World Cup in Qatar. So let me tell you about why he got popped. Bro, he was injured. I guarantee you this guy's on peptides. He's on testosterone. He's on HGH. He's on, I mean, I already said peptides, but BPC 157, TB500, all these beautiful peptides, which I'm on right now, by the way, prescribed by the doctor I'm linking down below. Again, yeah, these peptides fucking work. They are amazing. I take them as like a maintenance dose, but man, people have literally come back from injury. And look at Aaron Rodgers, stem cells, you name it. I bet you he's on it. Dude's already walking. We already did a video on this after his Achilles tear, which he should still be in a boot. Dude's walking like he's just chilling, throwing footballs. It's crazy. We've come a long way in healing and recovery. Lucky for Aaron Rodgers, the NFL could give a fuck less about drug tests. NFL's testing is, let's just say it's lax. And thank God, because I like seeing these guys recover and I like seeing them bring the hat. And I think they've done enough to prevent hits that injure people, but you're still going to have injuries. You have two full grown-ass men running at each other head first. Yeah. So Pogba has played a total of 51 minutes as a substitute this season in games with Bologna, I don't know, and Empoli. Bro, I'm American. And we don't know how to pronounce shit, do we? Just like I keep calling it soccer. I'm sorry, my European friends. It is football. Last season, he managed 108 minutes over 6 Serie A games, 3 brief appearances and 1 assist in the Europa League, and 11 minutes in the Coppa Italia, total of 162 minutes and no goals. His injury problems resurfaced recently with Juventus boss Massimo Allegri saying the player picked up a minor back problem following his appearance against Empoli. Okay, that's whatever. Who cares? All right, let me, I'll just leave this up. So let's talk about Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba. So Paul, he's 30. He's still got plenty of gas left in the tank, and he's making bank. The guy is making a lot of money. How much money is he making, you ask? Well, let's go ahead and pull up that article. Oh, that's not the article, sorry. Let's go ahead and pull up that article. Hold on one second. But you got to see my intro again. And for that, I mean, you're very lucky. So I'm going to get this article. Check this out, guys. Check this out. So what would motivate someone to take performance-enhancing drugs? I don't know. How about $28.5 million? That's how much he made in 2021. In 2023, we don't know, but the dude, let's assume he's making half that, $10 million. There are really questionable sexual things I will do for $1 million, let alone $10 million, let alone $20 million, let alone $20.5 million. He landed a spot on the Forbes world's highest paid athlete list, and in endorsements alone in 2021, he made $7 million. $7 million. So, put in perspective, this dude is getting paid. So he has, let's say, 3 more years of playing ball, of being a soccer player, of being a footballer, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay. That's minimum. Let's say he's down to 20 million, $60 million. So HGH is expensive. That's what prevents a lot of people who are aging from taking it. Not for Paul. Peptides are expensive. That's what prevents a lot of people from taking it. Not for Paul. Stem cells are expensive. That's what prevents a lot of people from doing them. Do you get what I'm going to say here? Not for Paul. So where Paul messed up is where everybody else did right. Look, man, I'm going to tell you this. I'm guessing. I have no data to back this up. 90+% of professional athletes, from soccer to basketball to baseball, they're on the sauce. They have to perform night in and night out, sometimes multiple times a week. They have to practice. They have to fly places, which as someone who travels every week, it is hell on your body, hell on your recovery, hell on your sleep. So to do that, they need help. So what are these athletes doing? Well, they're doing drugs that are in and out of your system really, really fast. And they're getting that performance enhancing edge. They're doing HGH. Absolutely. HGH in and out of your system, very hard to test. You got maybe 12, 24 hours. It's an intrinsic spike, right? Insulin. Oh, yeah, these guys are using insulin. They're using insulin. It helps drive nutrients and fuel recovery. Absolutely. Are they using bodybuilder doses? No. But I do believe a lot of these guys are using insulin for its performance-enhancing effects. They're using natural things that aren't tested for, like DADA, DADA. Look this stuff up. It's insane. It increases your work capacity by a zillion. It's just insane. I mean, what else? So how are they doing steroids? Easy. Testosterone suspension. Testosterone, you inject it, it's in, it's out in about 12 hours, to the point where you have to inject it multiple times a day to maintain somewhat of a semblance of steady levels. There are so many options of drugs. And then you got the experimental shit we won't even talk about. Remember what Patrick Arnold went to jail for and Balco was making, the Clear, which ended up being sold on supplement store shelves? I mean, crazy, right? It actually made it to supplement store shelves. They didn't do jail time, yet Patrick, who literally made like 2 or 3 bottles, did jail time to make an example of him. That's how fair the system is. Patrick should not have done jail time for that. No. He shouldn't have gotten in trouble for it, to be honest with you. So you're looking at why they're taking drugs. Recovery. Money. Dude, I know you're like, well, it's about your word and ethics. And yeah, shut up. Shut the hell up. You have never been presented with an opportunity to make $28.5 million a year and an extra $7 million in endorsements. This guy is simply doing what everyone else is, using every edge, using every single possible advantage to be able to play amongst the best. Because at that level, there's no good, there's no great, there's no average. Everybody there is elite. If you lose one step, you lose your spot. If you lose one step, you lose millions. In the NFL, when I was helping train NFL combine athletes, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, if we are to decrease their 40-yard dash time by 0.2. So if you're running by 0.1, if you're running a 4.4, we get you down to 4.3. That is literally going to make you an extra $2 million a year. Some crazy, it was crazy money. Crazy money simply for running this much faster. So if I'm running a 4.5 and I know that getting down to a 4.3 gets me an extra $8 million a year, you don't think I'm going to do everything in my power to be able to run a 4.3? You don't think I'm going to take HGH because I have trouble even walking the day after a game? Have you seen the documentary? Sorry. Seen the documentary Quarterback? Mahomes, Mariota, Cousins. Have you seen the pain those guys are in during the season? Did you see Kirk Cousins wincing in pain during that game? Every shot, his ribs are banged up. Guy can barely move, yet he's out there playing a game. You remember years ago when the Colts were in the Super Bowl? I forgot his name. He was defensive tackle, I believe. His ankle he had a high ankle sprain. It was this swollen. Yet he played the game. You want to know why? Because they injected him full of painkillers. They literally just injected him full of painkillers to the point where he was running on a very, very hurt ankle, but he couldn't feel it because they drugged him up. So it's okay for us to give these guys painkillers, which, by the way, nearly killed Brett Favre, but it's not okay to give them supplements that help them perform and help them recover. If done under a doctor's supervision, like I told you about before with Hormone Health and Wellness, not saying everybody, if you need, okay, these are athletes, they're trying to go above and beyond. For people like you and me, I just want to be able to train really hard, look really good, and coach my kids at night and do really good in the workplace. I'm not trying to be an Olympic gold medalist. I'm not trying to be Mark McGuire or Barry Bonds. I'm not that guy. So for people like you and me, we're just trying to get to baseline. We just don't want to decline below normal, right? But for these guys, they want to be superhuman. They have to be superhuman to be able to compete at that level. So for anybody saying, oh, Conor McGregor's on drugs, bro, there are some guys who aren't on drugs, 100%. There might be more than I guessed. I'm just guessing. I'm pulling a number out of my ass based on my experience. However, to think that there are more natural athletes than enhanced athletes in any given sport, including golf, you're out of your mind. Out of your mind. With that being said, close this book. Have notes in it. At the end of the day, man, it's trying our best to navigate this world. Everybody tries their best to be the best at what they do. We try to do these life hacking things. We wake up, we take our cold shower, we do our cardio, we lift our weights, we take our supplements, we do all this stuff to be optimal, just to go to work and function and crush it, and then be able to train after or before work and be able to spend time with our wife, our kids, or our dates or whatever it is. We need to do all we can to optimize. And yes, steroids are deadly. They do increase your risk of morbidity because of how they affect your lipid profile, your heart, all that stuff. Steroids, I remember there was a famous quote by John Romano, show me the bodies. Well, I mean, steroids don't directly kill you. Like, I'm not going to inject testosterone and fucking just die, right? But the buildup over time of the stressors on your body, on your heart, on your lipid profile, it's mainly how it affects your lipids and your cholesterol. That's why bodybuilders really need to pay attention to your blood work, because it's going to cause that plaque buildup. You got to get your, you got to get that scan. I got it last year, where they scan your calcium scan or whatever it is for your heart. We need to do that. But at the end of the day, athletes are already taking risks. And it's my opinion, and again, I'm not a doctor, I could be wrong, or I'm not even an expert by any means, according to YouTube. These athletes are putting their life on the line every time they step on the field. Every time they step on the field. If we can help them recover better and we can help their body heal, which drugs will do, and there's a guy who was injured, I think he's on a lot more than that. Again, HGH, peptides, he's on a lot of shit. I guarantee you that. I do guarantee you that, because if I had 28.5 million and I'm injured and it's preventing me from making 50 million, you're gosh darn right. Gosh darn right. I'm going to be taking all the shit I can and get away with it. But he needs better drug advisors. There's no reason to get caught, because drugs work in the body. And again, if I was on that, now I'm honest with everybody about my HRT. I'm honest about my past drug use. I never had to pass a drug test. I competed in NPC, nor do I find that in my moral compass to do that. Again, I'm not playing, like, nobody gets paid in the NPC. And IFBB, very few win and get paid. So I'm not going to do it now as a pro, because again, I'm not being drug tested. Why wouldn't I just say it? You got bodybuilders like going out and doing videos on their stack right before going to a show. Like, bodybuilding is the one sport you don't have to lie. So if I was on more than I was on, I would tell y'all. At least I tell you after the fact when I don't have illegal substances on my person. But yeah, I mean, I'm on HRT. I'm on 150 milligrams of test a week, and 2, I use HGH 5 days a week. That's what I take. And if I was going to lie about it, I mean, I would end up telling the truth. Like, if I did a cycle for like Masters USA when I got my pro card, I would have told you all by now. Like, it's over. I don't have the drugs on me anymore. You know, it's like, but I did it. So why would I? It's weird. But anyway, I digress. With that being said, let's get to questions, guys. Hopefully there's some. If you haven't asked yet, go ahead and ask. From Darth Bane, 1024. I'm more surprised they caught him when he was doing it. Probably got his dosing wrong, and every other pro athlete is laughing at the failed IQ test. Oh, man, Darth, you are absolutely correct. That's what I said earlier. Absolutely. What's up, Sneaky Nugget? How you doing? The media leagues want athletes to have clean images. The organizations know what's going on. Abso-friggin-lutely, EPZ9. The one that gets me is the Navy is now testing SEALs for PEDs. So stupid. I saw a news article on it. So if anybody should be on PEDs, it's our military. I mean, we're literally out there trying to kill folks. I would like every unfair advantage, and I think they should require Navy SEALs to be on PEDs. If you have the elite genetics to allow you to play professional sports, PEDs shouldn't be an issue. Disagree. Because you have people with elite genetics and with PEDs. You need both. Well, you don't need both. You need one. You need elite genetics, but adding in drugs to the equation makes it that much better. So yeah, we disagree on that, sneaky nugget. You little sneaky nugget, you. I take steroids for a $28 million job. Dude, I would do some really questionable sexual activities for a $28 million job. Hell, Mike O'Hearn took them for free for years. What do you mean? Took what? Like steroids for free? He was getting free drugs? Hook me up. They're all on the stuff. There's millions of dollars on the line for these athletes. Absolutely, Joe. Bigger, faster, stronger. Yes, my boy, Chris Bell. Shout out, good friend of mine, great friend of mine. Love that guy. What the fuck does it do? Let's be real. He gained 9 miles per hour speed, kicks the ball 50 miles per hour faster. Oh my God. Have you ever seen a before and after of an elite athlete who jumps on the sauce? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever watched those MMA guys who went on? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen Barry Bonds go from being a contact hitter to hitting dingers like 60 plus a year? Quicks, man, you have no idea how good steroids are, and that's a good thing. But steroids work. Again, but there's a risk. You're gonna most likely die before you should. It is what it is. And it's like, well, you did, yes. And I am fully aware that I might have taken a couple years off my life. But again, you know, you can't go back and you can't change the past. So when done in a fashion that is exorbitant, right? That is super physiological. Steroids are most certainly bad for you. Most certainly are bad for you. When used for replacement, I could point to data showing it's actually healthier than having low levels. However, to think for a second, that steroids will not change a player fundamentally who's already great. Again, but here's the problem. Most of the great athletes you see, they're already on steroids. They're already on it, in my opinion. It makes you 1% better, which is all you need to win. That's the only. So here's the thing. They did a study, I believe it was when I was in high school. It was in the 90s. Because I remember our coach told us about it. They had every NFL team, and they put all their, oh, wow, stop that. My watch is listening to me. Biden. It's the FBI. It's Hillary. Hillary's saying that all the Trump supporters need like, what is it? The camps where they deprogram. That's scary, isn't it? And then my watch talks to me. So here's the deal. So they took all the teams, best, worst, in between. And there was very little difference between height, weight, and speed. So you're really fighting for that 1%. That 1%, whether it's like just a little bit extra speed or just a little bit extra strength, because you're already, if you made the NFL, if you're in the NFL, even if you're a practice squad player, like you are an amazing athlete. You are stupid good. The difference between you being a starter and on the practice squad is probably 1 to 2%. So if steroids can give someone 1 to 2%, yeah, it's the difference between making $20 million a year and $250,000 a year. That I could say with certainty. Steroids saved baseball. You might be right. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's live. Those of you who listen to it after the fact, I appreciate you watching it. Hopefully we'll do more of these. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on PEDs in sports? Anyway, it's time to rock out. Put a little video at the end for you guys to enjoy. And, oh, yeah, by the way, if you're buying sport nutrition supplements, I want you to go to tigerfitness.com and support us. We can really use the support. We do our best to have the best customer service. We even have a free gym for the community in Loveland, Ohio. And, again, if you do anything, go to tigerfitness.com. And I'm going to put a little ad up here. For y'all at the end, please watch, please enjoy. It's on Hydroglyph. That's not a game.
Fast for the health benefits, right? But you're afraid you'll lose muscle. You're afraid it'll affect your performance, not just physically, but mentally. What if I told you that we created a product that not only can be taken intra-workout to support your training, help you gain muscle, lose fat, and retain muscle, but I also have a product that helps you with hydration. And if you fast, is the perfect thing to drink during your fast to make sure that you retain all your muscle, get all the benefits of fasting, and even when you start eating, increases the power of your protein. Hydroglyph is here and it has changed the game.